I've spent about grand on kit. I hope my wife doesn't see this bit. I've been freelancing for 9 months now, and I want to give you the honest truth, the good, the bad, and was it worth it?
Okay.
All right, it's time to focus.
Let me kick off with some of the pros of freelancing, and 3 key areas really, and that's of extra financial income, skills development, and enjoying what you're doing. So in terms of additional income, it's definitely side hustle stage at the moment, that kind of scale, but I've been able to pay off the mortgage every month, a bit of extra money left over to pay off some debt, or do something with the family. So that is an obvious massive plus point. I've been doing loads of different businesses here and there, other side hustles, and they didn't quite kick off. I know it's kind of small scale, but this where I'm using my skill set as I'm doing content marketing, photography, videography, social media management. I'm using some skills that are really adding value for my clients, and I'm getting paid. So my first client that I got back in December, they came through. I was absolutely buzzing. I was thinking, hey, I can actually do this. And it was kind of a bit of a light bulb moment. And I started getting some other clients here and there. Skills development side of things, I already had some skill in taking photos and photography and video editing, etc. But it was kind of mostly hobby level. But over the last 9 months, I've taken it really seriously, and I've done 2 different courses as well, online courses around photography, creating videos, and then just YouTube stuff. Like YouTube is like one of my top resources for finding out about editing techniques. Instagram has actually been quite helpful in researching different types of videos, Skillshare. So I've super rapidly developed a skill set, whereas before I was just kind of passively doing bits and bobs, etc. So with the amount I have learned over 9 months, it could be kind of equal to the last 5 years, because there's that focused effort, and you're developing something, a skill to deliver on a project. And there's a lot of projects that I've taken on where I only see kind of 50% of the picture, and the rest I go off and research or develop that skill, show up on a content shoot with a shot list and a plan, which I didn't have a clue how I would deliver when I signed on a certain project. So in terms of skills development, it's absolutely amazing. It kind of forces you to go off and upskill. So that's brilliant. And then obviously these skills can translate in other areas of your life. The third one, high level pro advantage is you do really enjoy what you're doing. Generally, as a freelancer, you're not going to go off and just do some totally random activity that you don't enjoy. But this, I do really enjoy it. On the whole, I'll go to the cons in a bit. But on the whole, you can choose your projects and what you work on. In the beginning, you're kind of trying out loads of different things, but as you progress, you can niche further and further within your skill set, and also the area that you're working in. So I'm working with restaurants and takeaways. That's something food is another passion of mine, and reviewing stuff. So I've got a blog as well, a food blog. I'll add that in the description. You can have a follow. So those kind of combinations it creates something that I actually enjoy working on. And a lot of my clients, I actually deliver more than we agreed, because I get so engrossed in the editing, the photography work, and sometimes an idea pops into my head, or I've seen an idea on Instagram somebody's done, and I just go and create it. The client didn't ask for it, and then the client is kind of blown away. But just be careful that you're not always over delivering, and they'll just expect that all the time. Don't undervalue your time. So I forgot I had my tea there. Got a bit cold.
Now give me the bad news.
So obviously there's you'll be doing longer hours, and you need to be really careful how many hours you're putting in. So I've got a full-time job, and I've got 2 toddlers, family to look after. That's another full-time job, and you've got to be careful how much time, even if you're really enjoying it, be careful and measured with how much time you're spending, and set a rule around how much you're making per hour. And this is not a fee. This is not something that you're communicating with your client, because it shouldn't be just a straight exchange for time and money, which it basically is. But you should aim for a minimum that you're making. I don't know, like, is it £30 an hour? Is it 50? Is it £100 an hour? Whatever that is, or $100, $200 in the States. And even if you're going off and you do other side projects and stuff for that client, that is digging into your time away from, it could be from your family, and at worst, kind of ignoring your family, and at worst, it starts impacting your day job, your core income, and also actually ultimately at worst is you burn out. So the first couple of months, I was reflecting and thinking, if I go at this pace, I'm going to definitely burn out, and that's probably the worst thing that can happen, because then your business is gone. Your freelance business shuts down. You can't deliver, and then it'll impact the other parts of your life. So be really conscious about how much time you're spending. And I am spending extra time, but I'm managing it and balancing it as best as I can. So I'm working after hours. After the kids go to sleep, I'll do some editing work. I'll do maximum one content shoot a week. Was just too much. It's too much time away from the family. Of course, if you want to build anything, you're gonna have to sacrifice a bit of time. So I'm just grabbing the pockets. So 2 hours after the kids go to sleep. Before, on weekends, I'll do some work, 4 hours, 5 hours. So obviously there's sacrifice there, and I've not been to the gym in a while, so I do need to focus a bit more on our health. So it's an obvious kind of downside, but I think it's necessary if you're going to do this and deliver eventually. And one thing I'm starting doing is implementing a lot more AI and systems and processes, and I'm just about to outsource a bit of work to an editor on Fiverr, and also potentially hire a photographer. So I give them the shot list, I send them to my client, and they do that content shoot for that month. So there's ways around it, but there's also no getting around. Yeah, you do need to spend extra time, and if on top of your day job, and usually freelancers are those that are doing a bit of extra works as a side hustle, and then eventually they can go full time. So another con is managing clients, and you might have challenging clients and difficult clients to work with. So it can put an additional stress and headache on yourself, and again, especially if you've got a full-time job, other responsibilities as well. So I have had difficult clients, some that dispute what was agreed, and I'm not delivering on that, etc. Having a solid kind of servicing contract in place is super important. Other times, maybe clients are quite micromanaging. It's just difficult in general. That can cause a lot of stress. And what I've done is I've dropped clients in the past, in the first 3-4 months, because I just didn't want the headache. I didn't care about the money. I just said, like, sorry, good luck, best of luck. At the end of the month, I'll be finishing the contract off. And I just made up some other stuff. Basically, I didn't want to continue working with them. Find the ideal clients, those clients that match your values and how you want to work. And a lot of that process can be, you can figure out kind of the red flags when you're speaking with them in those initial stages and creating the proposal. I actually created a second draft of a proposal for a client, and after that second meeting, the next day I said, So sorry. Thank you so much for your time. Withdrawing the proposal. I don't think we're going to be a good fit, and I wish them all the best. Because I'd much rather have my peace of mind than take on a difficult client. That client was quite taken aback. I think they were very surprised that I had rejected it. It was a quite a high value contract. It was more my top end fees, but honestly, I already have a good base of clients. I didn't want to add to it. So yeah, especially with everything else going on. The sales process, negotiation, it can be a bit tricky. And the worst is when prospective clients start ghosting you. So you've spent time meeting them, having a phone call, having a meeting with them, crafting that proposal, you send it across, and then they ghost you. So that's happened twice to me. So I've called them like twice and sent them messages, just completely ignore you, and they haven't been in touch since. You have to develop tough skin. Is that the word? With rejection, and I would say my success rate around kind of cold approach, cold calling, is about 1 out of 7, which is probably pretty good by normal sales standards. And it's not like I'm going for hundreds and hundreds of clients. To be honest, I've only ever approached 7 in that method. The rest of my other clients, I've just come through referrals, and my existing clients give me referrals as well. So having a good base of clients is definitely important. You can get better at that sales process. Each one that I've got rejected, I've learned from that process, from the meetings, etc., and how to protect myself and how to protect my time and how to better qualify a prospective client, a prospective lead. The other thing that comes to mind over the last 9 months of freelancing is around uncertainty. And thinking like, is my client going to drop me at the end of the contract? And that always kind of plays on my mind, even now. And I think it'll probably always be the case. And so, for example, my first couple of clients, I was convinced they're all going to drop me at the end of the first 2 months, because they were sometimes not replying to my messages, and when I was pitching ideas and things like that were not quite responsive, etc., I was thinking, maybe they don't like my work, maybe they don't like me, all that kind of stuff, and a bit of imposter syndrome creeped in. A lot of imposter syndrome creeped in, to be honest. But they were just busy, and when I went to speak with them on the kind of next meeting and renewing the contract, they renewed it for like another 3 months. And those initial clients that I thought were going to drop me in the first 2 months, they're still with me 9 months later, and I'm getting positive feedback from them, and clients that are saying, you've made a massive difference to my business. It's increased by 20% the sales. That's one of my takeaway clients. Some clients are saying like, well, I've learned so much through you about doing digital marketing and online marketing. You've definitely made a difference to the business. So there's a bit of paranoia around, because they've not been replying to messages and here and there. They must not like me or my work. But they're just really busy people. I have one guy who's just I don't hear from for like 2 weeks, but he does keep an eye on the stuff that I'm creating for them, for their socials and things like that. And when we have that meeting, it's fantastic. They love the work that I'm delivering. It's a real value for money. But there's always going to be some uncertainty, isn't there? And I've still got uncertainty with 1 or 2 clients, and then say some of the bigger retainer clients. It's always in the back of my mind, right? If that drops, then that's like 400 quid a month for that client gone. That's my car lease, or more than my car lease, and some grocery shopping here and there. But I think you just gotta keep plowing on and build it. In the beginning, it might be slow growth, but build for stability. Go for those clients that you're gonna work well with. They could be an established business, which always makes it better, because obviously they got money coming in and easy to work with, etc. And you're delivering value for them. And over the long term, the more and more you work with them, the more they're going to trust you, and the more efficient you become. The more you understand their business, you become part of their business. You become like an employee, but at an extension. I definitely want to make a distinction between you become an employee and being a freelancer. So a freelancer, I view it as somebody that's independent. You're self-employed, you're the expert. And for me personally, I don't want people really telling me what to do. I'm coming in to deliver a fantastic service. I'm gonna kind of direct things. So as a freelancer, I'm the director, and I'm advising and giving guidance and building that person's business. In conclusion, was it worth going freelance and putting the extra effort to become a freelancer? And I'd say absolutely 100% it was worth it. Just for the financial side of things, bringing in some extra income is so positive. I actually enjoy doing the work and working with some amazing people as well. Some of my clients are absolutely fantastic. They're really fun to work with. A lot of them are just like up for anything. I can challenge them. They can give me feedback. On the whole, 99% of my clients, they don't give me headaches. I've got rid of the clients that do give me headaches, and I'm being really selective on who I take on as a client as well. So as mentioned, I've developed so many different skills. It's really enriching my life. I'm able to provide a bit more stability and growing some stability for my family as well. So if you're thinking of going freelance, my quick tips are, look at what you can deliver for a client. What problem are you solving? What skills do you have to deliver and solve that problem for that client? And start off small. Just create like MVP and focus on just winning that one client. And then once you've got that client, use them as a testing ground. Still deliver on what you're going to do, but also experiment with other things and other avenues so that you're developing your skills. And you don't have to craft like a crazy business plan on what you're going to deliver, your services, etc. Just get started. And then through that process, that iterative process, you'll understand what you're good at, what value you're delivering, what works for the client. And then later you can start scaling and repeating that with others. So that's what I've done. And I'm still learning. It's only been 9 months. There's so much to learn and develop. And I'm meeting other freelancers as well and learning from them. And there's vast amount of resource online, like YouTube, Skillshare, all that stuff I think I mentioned earlier. I hope that was helpful, guys. If you're going to be doing freelance, do subscribe to the channel, because I'll be covering a lot more hints and tips around how to set up a freelance business, and also blogging my journey as I go, sharing my learnings and pitfalls, and hopefully you don't make the same mistakes. I'll also be sharing information, reviews of the kit that I'm using. I've spent about £5,000 on kit. I hope my wife doesn't see this bit of it, but I've spent over £5,000 on kit. But there was a purpose behind that kit. There's projects that came up that warranted this piece of kit, getting a video rig, etc., getting an additional camera as well because of event photography. So it's all going to get paid off like super fast. Some of it's already paid off, like with a few different projects. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll leave you there before I make it any longer, and I'll see you soon.